My number one aim is to defeat the proposed amendment in some fashion. The petition is illegal, invalid, and void on its face, as the Montgomery County Election Board recognized. The decision by Judge Albright.
What you're dealing with now, what you have now, is a community who is not docile, who is not sitting back and saying, well, what, can't do anything about it anyway.
People have signs on their yards by the hundreds, they've signed petitions by the thousands. The township is, as Commissioner Simon pointed out, divided at this point because many, many people don't feel that their commissioners have protected the quality of life in Cheltenham adequately. And the reason people are here and the reason that they've signed petitions and the reason that you are now facing a difficult decision about how to handle this referendum is that people don't feel that they've been heard and that our vision for Cheltenham doesn't seem to mesh with the vision for Cheltenham that's been put on paper.
I'm asking you all to consider that this amendment is simply a request by the people to be heard on these issues that bear so heavily on the quality of life here in Wyncote, in Glenside, the rest of the towns in the township.
I'm not sure if it could get any worse than what you just said, as you continue to go on and insult the intelligence of over 3,000 Cheltenham residents who signed that petition, who feel that their voice is not being heard. As you go up there and you say that you fight hard for this township, but we're standing up and we're saying, you know what? You're going to listen. You're going to listen today. You're going to listen tomorrow. We're going to be at the next meeting, and there's not going to be any stopping us. Because you know what? This is our community. Our community.
Petitioner. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. You would just find people, you explain what it is, and they were all very concerned. They don't want to see all this development, and they like Cheltenham the way it is.
And I think it's a very negative and arrogant approach to the Cheltenham community for you to assume that people will sign anything, speaking specifically about people who have put signatures to this initiative.
I see the amendment as simply an extra hurdle that SEPTA or any other, at this point, just a public benefit corporation would have to go through. If they're a public benefit corporation, then the residents of Cheltenham should have a little say as to whether or not they think it's a benefit that they, a project that they want to do. The people that I'm talking to are beginning to see the big picture. And the big picture I'm hearing over and over again, all the way up into Bucks County, all the way even Abington, and especially here in Cheltenham, and even now from SEPTA people, that building garages at midpoints of the line is ridiculous.
We are all interdependent. Whether you live in Cheltenham Village, or you live in Glenside, or you live in Wyncote, you all have a lot to lose if our property value goes down. Somebody's going to make up the difference. I'm going to tell you right now, because of the way you've been acting, you won't respond, you won't say. That's why 2 commissioners were knocked out in the primary. It has to be said, there's an election November 3rd. Now, maybe all of you aren't running, but you're going to run again in 2 years. And I don't think anybody's going to forget.
Gentlemen, basically, bottom line is SEPTA, parking garages, the straw that broke the camel's back for the community. Bottom line is, we witness, we remember.
We're talking about people asking for a right to have a vote. And the vote, this amendment that will allow people to vote, sounds like something big. It isn't really very big. It It is a small way to participate, but it is a way to push back on the constant encroachments that we have gotten from powerful corporations, and the way they have used and bent the law to hem us in. The corporations haven't been timid. Haven't been timid at all about the way they have pushed and asserted themselves. Why not come with us, join with us, and you don't lose any power with this. You will still be the decision makers that you are. We will still have to come to you for the meetings that you have with people and find out what's happening.
We, the people, need to make a change. It's our constitutional right.
I think you want peace in your community. But there can't be peace in your community and where we live until there's justice in your community. You have a Bill of Rights in front of you that gives rights to these folks over here. And there's 1,000 reasons you can say, it's not legal, it's not this, it's wild, it's crazy. There's 1,000 reasons to say no. But there's one reason to say yes, and that's because it's right.
This charter amendment is about the community having the right to say what goes on in our township, in the development of our township, in the development of the very neighborhoods in which we live. And the charter amendment says that what we do not want are people who do not live here. Corporations that come in with more money and more leverage and more power, the fear of lawsuits that they threaten us with, because they have so much power and so much leverage as property. They're property, they're not people. We have been slandered with all kinds of names, up and down and in and out. But I have not had a personal discussion with you. You have not come to our meetings. And we're here tonight because we hear there's an injunction. What is this talk of an injunction? We come to you and we say, we want more of a voice. We want to be part of what you're discussing. We can't even see you at these meetings from these lamps.
Correct.
I mean, it just goes on and on. When I was walking the petition around in my neighborhood, I thought I had to look at my t-shirt. I thought it said complaint department. It was one after another after another. From the womb to the grave, in this country, we are ruled by corporations. This movement is not about just what's happening in Cheltenham. It is happening in healthcare. It's happening in campaign financing and reform. It's all over the place. And not a one of you took the time to speak to us and ask us what the statement was about. It's not anti-business. It's not about driving the corporation's way. We approach you with a Bill of Rights that we have a voice and that everyone has a voice, and you're throwing an injunction at us? I just want to thank the community. We know each other a lot better than we did in June. And I think we know our commissioners a lot better too.
There is no motion to be considered by this board tonight. What's the last meeting? This is the last meeting of the Board of Commissioners prior to the election. Therefore, this is the only time that we can vote on an injunction, and there is no injunction that's going to be voted on tonight.